The so-called Navy SEALs are the main tactical unit of the Special Operations Forces of the American Navy. For an American soldier, this unit is as prestigious as Harvard is for a student. It's believed that this is one of the best special forces in the whole world. However, training here is not only prestigious, but also incredibly challenging. Only an active male soldier of the US Navy not older than 28 years can become a candidate for serving in this elite special forces. About 90% of candidates fail the entry tests. The training lasts 6 months and ends with the so-called Hell Week, and this name describes very well the hardships the soldiers go through. During these 7 days, candidates sleep only 3 to 4 hours a day and undergo severe physical fitness tests. But this is not all. After the successful completion of Hell Week, the candidate will have to go through more than one training round before actually going on his first combat mission. Of course, most of the tests take place in water, often in the open sea. For example, one of the most important elements of training is developing the skill to float and submerge underwater without using of arms and legs. At first glance, this may not seem like such a difficult thing to do, but believe us, it requires a huge amount of patience. In fact, the main thing here is not physical strength, but the ability to fully control your emotions and not panic. And not everyone is up to the challenge. The purpose of such exercises is to enable Navy SEALs to climb a certain distance or get something from the bottom even with tied limbs. To do this, they must learn to move like dolphins. This is Key West, the southernmost point of the United States, located only 150 kilometers from Cuba. For many, this city is all about hot weather and resorts. But not for members of the elite American Special Forces. The Navy SEALs pass their tests here, in open waters, and it is much more dangerous and difficult than in a cozy pool. The underwater equipment of the Navy is quite different from the ones divers use. It's designed to hide any signs of life, like air bubbles on the surface of the water. However, Navy SEALs do not always have oxygen during training. One of the most challenging tests is to learn how to remain calm even if you don't have any gear with you. To do this, instructors suddenly tear off scuba gear and masks from the soldiers, leaving them helpless in the water depths. Unfortunately, not everyone can cope with such tests, and for some, they can even become fatal. If you thought that this is the final test for the Navy SEALs, you are wrong. They have to go through dozens of others, sometimes seemingly absurd trials. This, for example, is one of the most important challenges. Small groups of 6 to 7 people head towards the ocean holding inflatable boats above their heads. Before they reach the water, instructors make beginners smear themselves in the sand to make the test more challenging. Finally, the Navy SEALs get in boats, go into the ocean, and start rowing straight towards the huge waves, which can reach more than 1.5 meters in height, believe us. Not every Olympian can do this. For example, American swimmer Michael Phelps, the only champion in the history of sports with 23 golden medals, once trained with Navy SEALs in open water. He had to work really hard to keep up with the soldiers, which only proves that serving in this elite unit requires much more than just being able to swim. And here's another underwater test, designed for the US Marine Corps soldiers. Like any other military personnel, they must always be prepared for any emergency during military operations, including the most extreme one. For example, when the helicopter with a crew on board collapses right into the water. In this video, we can see the soldiers quickly get out of a flooded simulator cab. By the way, such tests are designed not only for the military, but also for other specialists who regularly travel by helicopters over water. For example, workers of oil and gas industry. China. In childhood, you probably played a simple game called Hot Potato. It involves players gathering in a circle and tossing a small object to each other while music plays. The player who is holding the object when the music stops is eliminated. Turns out that this harmless game has an adult version. It was invented in China. Instead of a ball, soldiers toss a real grenade, and only special forces of the People's Liberation Army can participate. The video shows the grenade is literally smoking in the hands of the soldiers, ready to explode at any time. After making a full circle, one of the players throws a grenade into the pit, and then all participants lie face down on the ground waiting for the explosion. Although the Chinese Special Forces are a relatively young unit which participated in real military operations only once, the way they train is really crazy. South Korea. The US and South Korean military forces have a long tradition of joint military exercises on the territory of the Korean Peninsula. They need to keep in shape because of its neighbor, North Korea, which is known for its advanced military industry and regular nuclear missile launches. In order to prepare for a possible military conflict between two seemingly similar, but drastically different countries, American commanders regularly arrive in South Korea to conduct military exercises. One of these exercises took place in the city of Pyeongchang, which hosted the 2018 Olympic Games. The exercises were held in snowy territories for 3 weeks, during extreme cold. The US and South Korean Marines worked out a scenario according to which troops from the neighboring country invaded South Korea. In snow camouflage, and sometimes with a bare torso, the soldiers practiced skiing, shooting, and fighting in cold climate. During training, the Marines also tested their marksmanship and ranger skills and practiced their ability to communicate with their Asian allies. Taiwan. This video shows the incredible training of special forces from Taiwan, a territory within China, which is considered part of it, but in fact has autonomy. Combat divers have to pass an especially difficult exam called Road to Paradise. The candidates would have to creep a 50-meter strip covered with sharp cobblestones and fragments of sea corals, and they wear no body protection whatsoever. The instructors throw buckets with ice-cold water at candidates and also make them perform acrobatic stunts like somersaults. Examinees should also shout different battle cries aloud. The video shows how they scream phrases like, "I am not afraid of pain," "I will face any danger," and "I will serve with full obedience." And at the end of the exam, the cadet must also shout "no" loudly in response to the commander's question about whether the test was hard for him. Many fail the tests, but the best of the best make it into Sea Dragons, the special unit of Taiwan's combat divers. Vietnam. Turns out in Vietnam, not only military personnel, but also the ordinary police forces have to do exhausting exercises to perfect their combat skills. In this video, you can see the brave men and women doing incredible stunts during joint exercises. They smash concrete blocks, lay on tiles with sharp needles, carry large bottles of water on their necks. All these crazy exercises help develop physical strength, fearlessness, and tolerance for any kind of pain. Thailand. The commanders of the American Army came up with a number of mandatory exercises in extreme climatic conditions. The most spectacular of them are held in Thailand and are called Cobra Gold. Not only thousands of soldiers and officers from across the United States, but also military personnel from more than 24 other Asian countries take part in these exercises. For the most part, they are quite casual, teamwork and field training. But there are some elements that might surprise you. For example, the Thai forces teach their American counterparts how to catch poisonous snakes and show them what to do in case they were bitten. And they also welcome everyone to take a bite of living scorpions. Other local specialties include spider eggs or a glass of cobra blood. According to Thai experts, this is an integral part of the survival course in the extreme conditions of the jungles. By the way, did you know that drinking the blood of poisonous snakes is considered a cult ritual in Thailand? Some European researchers say that this substance is not toxic at all. On the contrary, it's quite beneficial for the body. It improves the cardiovascular system, helps relieve symptoms of asthma and diabetes, and when used externally, it also has anti-inflammatory properties. But we do not advise you to do this because who knows how your body would react. That's it for today. See you soon!
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.